Hi everyone, it's Nicole here from My Favorite Things, and today I am so excited to share two cards featuring components from the new Heart Art card kit. This is the January 2019 card kit, paired with the new Joyful Heart Bears stamp set and also the coordinating Die-Namics. So both of these are brand new today, January 22nd, 2019. Fantastic for creating all the love cards. So if you are looking for some fun additions to your love themed product stash, these are fantastic. I am starting with some regular Nina Smooth White cardstock and the My Favorite Things mini cloud stencil. This stencil is from my stash. It is not part of the kit. I had this already, but I thought it would be great paired with the other images and dies from the kit and from the new stamp set. So I'm going to create some backgrounds here with picked raspberry, distress ink, and this mini cloud stencil. And I'm completely covering a A2 sized 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of cardstock here. And this is going to cover the entire front of the card in a landscape format. I love doing non-traditional cloud backgrounds. I love cloud backgrounds in all forms, and because I do so many of them, I often look for something kind of unique to do, and where I wanted to really focus on pinks, for whatever reason I have been super drawn to pink this season. I don't know what it is, but I am. And so I kind of just take it where the feeling leads me, and that definitely led me to creating this picked raspberry background. We are then going to take this awesome love die. This is part of the January Heart Art kit, and there is both the landscape and then the portrait style of love dies. They are connected. So you're going to get the love where the letters are one on top of another with these double the love dynamics, or straight across like this. You do not have to use them in an inlay style, but I did die cut mine from my background, and then I am inlaying the letters that I have die cut using some Gina K Passionate Pink cardstock inside of the openings. Also off camera, I did stamp that sentiment, "Everything about you fills my heart with joy." That is from the Joyful Heart Bears stamp set, stamped with a pink ink that I had from my stash. I believe this is the Fawn Plastic Flamingo ink. I thought it looked good with the picked raspberry background and that Passionate Pink cardstock. I like this as is. In fact, I had originally planned to just do this inlay style, and then I thought, well, it's a little harsh. It's a little bit more prominent than I want it to be, because I do want my bear to really kind of take center stage and the sentiment to be the supporting cast, basically. And so I ended up stacking two or three layers of the Passionate Pink Love letters one on top of another, and I'm just using a liquid glue to glue them in place one on another. Love this look, love the dimension that this provides. So if you want your love to stand out more, this is a fun way to do that. You could do different colors if you wanted to with your letters. There's just many ways to get that little bit of dimension there without having to use a foam adhesive. I like doing the letters one on top of another. I did do 3 layers. I thought I did. 3 layers of that Passionate Pink cardstock. And really, up until this point, I really still thought that I would leave it with this pink. And on a whim, I had saved all the letters that I die cut from my background that I inlaid. And I thought, well, let's just see what they look like on top. So I laid them on top, and I loved it. So in order to still have that nice little dark pink shadow, I'm going to slightly offset this very tippy top layer, which I die cut from the background, and we're very slightly shifting it over to the right just a little bit. And that's going to give us this fantastic little shadow of dark pink. It's also providing a nice dimensional greeting, so it really pops from the cloud background. And I love how it turned out. I was super happy glued those down, put something heavy on top to hold it down in place while the liquid glue dries, and then I moved on to stamping my bear from the Joyful Heart Bears stamp set, and I'm going to add him to my card. This card really kind of happened in phases. I had played around with the products from the kit and from the new stamp set and dies, trying to decide what I wanted to do. And I originally thought I would just use this single image, but once I get him stamped and colored and die cut and placed on the card, I really felt like I needed a little something else to round it out. So we will be adding a couple of the butterflies from the stamp set as well, and my second card's going to feature those too, because once I put them on this first card, I just loved them and thought they were really cute and fun. I'm still addicted to my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers, kind of in one of those phases where I really like coloring with them. I am using beige, light beige, the blender, and pink haze for the bear. I wanted him to be very, very light. This is one of my very favorite color combinations for a light brown color. The addition of light beige and the blender just gives some fantastic detail. The blender really gives you those light highlight areas and just are perfect. The heart balloon, I am using peach pink, sugared almond pink, and pink haze. This is my favorite color combination to coordinate with Picked Raspberry Distress Ink, and it's my favorite color combination for pink, period, with the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. I love this shade of pink. Again, blending with the pink haze to give me that lighter highlighted area. And then the balloon string is just peach pink. And then we'll die cut this guy with the coordinating Joyful Heart Bears die. We are going to use some foam adhesive squares to pop him up. Where the love word is popped up with layers of cardstock, I didn't want to try to layer him directly onto the card base because his legs would be a little wonky. The legs need to overlap the E in this card a bit, or the balloon's going to fly off way too much off the top of the card. I don't mind it being off the top of the card a little bit and having to trim a bit of the design off, but I think if you trim too much of that heart, you're going to lose a lot of the design. Now I decided to stamp those butterflies. They're going to be colored with peach pink, sugared almond pink, and pink haze, just like the balloon on the other image, and then we'll die cut these and add them to the card. And I'll move the card down more into the screen so you can see how I attached the bear with the foam adhesive. They're kind of standing on the word love. And then I'm trying to figure out which die goes with which butterfly, which is always amusing. Taping those in place with a little post-it tape, running them through my die cutting machine, and we will pop these guys up with foam adhesive as well, because I think that makes a huge difference in the overall completion of this design. Just using a couple of small foam adhesive squares. I really like scrapbook adhesives, foam adhesive squares. In both the large and the small. I have loads of them. I like that they're foam adhesive, and so they add dimension, but they're pretty low profile, so they're not going to add a ton of bulk, which is something that is very important to me. And I'm really sorry that I have my camera zoomed in too tight. I did not realize it when I was putting this together. So let's move this down. Let's add a black pin to the tip of the nose. Let's add that to the butterflies, the antenna, the head, maybe even the stripes on the butterflies. I added the black glaze pin to this to help that stand out a little bit. We're going to take Nuvo Crystal Drops in White Blizzard, which you all know is my favorite. It's a clear, glittery Nuvo Crystal Drops, so it's not going to change the color. It's just going to add this layer of clear iridescent glitter on top, so the butterfly wings will have a little glitter to them. And then I do have these little heart accents. These are strawberry ice heart accents from Honeybee Stamps that I actually just recently purchased and got in the mail, and I'm really excited about them. I bought them in lots of colors, but this strawberry ice color just works with my cards perfectly today. So I'm adding a scattering of those throughout the design, using Ranger Multi Matte Medium to adhere them, the crystal katana to easily pick them up and put them in place where they go. There is both a matte and a clear, more glass-like looking little droplet. These are a lot like the little clear droplets. They're just heart-shaped, which I love for love-themed and Valentine's cards. Hearts are always something I use year-round, heart accents, and I'm always on the lookout for good ones, and I really like these. I even put one on the little bear's bum because I thought that would be kind of cute and fun. This panel then is adhered to a white side fold card base, and here is a look at the finished design. Isn't that so sweet? Here is the second card I made. We are going to create a background exactly the same, only portrait style instead of landscape this time. I did not do that in the video. No need. I'll save a little bit of time. However, because I missed filming the part where I stamped my sentiment last time, I'm just going to share with you. I lined it up where I wanted it to go. I used my stamps and dies as a guide. I'm going to stamp that sentiment with plastic flamingo Lawn Fawn ink. Again, I just picked an ink from my color swatch book that I thought matched the background. Then I am going to die cut this heart. This is actually the free with a $60 purchase die that you get when you have a $60 or more purchase at My Favorite Things. This is called the Mini Heart Shaker Window and Frame. I'm only using the window. I did not use the frame part of the dies, and it coordinates with the heart art stamp set that comes in the card kit. So there's a couple of different options there because there is a trio of heart dies and shaker windows that I didn't use today. Hope I get to do something with those soon because I really love them. I think they're super amazing. Again, this is just a fraction of what you actually get in the heart art card kit, and I combined it with these joyful heart bears, but you definitely don't have to. I know I have seen some awesome, awesome cards with this heart art card kit. My friend Lori Willison has got some amazing cards that I just love. She always has the most amazing, clean and simple cards. And so definitely check out My Favorite Things, check out their hashtag like on social media so that you can see more things that you can do with the heart art card kit. Now I trimmed this background down to 4 inches by 5 1/4, so it's going to be slightly smaller than A2 size. It's going to have a nice white border all the way around. I used my panel on the front to serve as a guide. I stamped that heart from the heart art stamp set with the plastic flamingo ink. I used You Are Loved. There's actually tons of great sentiments. These hearts are amazing. I love them. I glued that directly to my card base, and then I am popping up the panel with foam adhesive so it really highlights the You Are Loved sentiment that's going to be centered right between our two little bears. I did use, I think, every image, not every greeting, but every image from the Joyful Heart Bears stamp set. I absolutely love Stacy's designs for My Favorite Things. I think they are incredible. They are really right down my alley. You guys probably already know I love critters. So these are just absolutely darling and super fun to color. I am using the same color combination that I used on my last card for this card. So beige, light beige, blender, and pink haze. I'm going to go a little darker with my second bear just because I think the contrast is a little more interesting. I did put a little mid-brown on the muzzle on his face just to help define that maybe a little bit more. Let's color in his outfit and everything going on here, and then we'll move on to our second bear. So in addition to the pinks, I am using some reds, Carmine Red and Light Carmine, to color in the accents on the sweater, the hearts in the bucket, and I think the stripe around the bucket as well. It felt like I just needed a little contrast with the pinks. These reds tend to be a little more on the pink side, I think, so they blend really nicely. This is my favorite red color combination, Carmine Red and Light Carmine. However, if I'm wanting to do a deeper, darker red, I would go with a different color, but like I said, I think these blend very nicely and complement the pinks I'm using. The sweater's pink, the hearts are red, The hearts in the bucket are red, and then I thought the bucket needed to be a neutral, so I just grabbed gray and light gray to color in his cute little bucket. And then let's move on to the other little guy who's adorable. And this time I'm laying down mid-brown first. I always start with my dark, blend out with my lighter, and finish with the lightest. That's just the way I do these. That way I'm not coloring over the image so many times, because unlike an alcohol ink-based marker, eventually you could pill the paper because these are water-based markers. So I have found that this is the best way to do it. You also might notice these are blending like butter. That's because I use Bristol Smooth cardstock. It is my recommended cardstock for Zig Clean Color Real Brush Marker coloring. I did not like coloring with these markers until I started using this paper, and then I have fallen in love with these markers because they just, as I said, color like butter on this cardstock. Blend beautifully. Make sure you're cleaning the tip of your marker constantly. The lighter colors are going to pick up that darker color so that you don't move so much of that ink around and you still keep those great highlight areas. The scallop around the heart I colored with Carmine Red, and then the heart itself we're going to do Peach Pink, Sugared Almond Pink, and Pink Haze. I think he's darling. I had to use every bear in this stamp set. I just absolutely loved it. And I really wanted to use them all. So I found a way to do 2 cards and utilize all the images. You might also notice I went ahead and started off stamping all 3 butterflies so that I could color them in as well, and use all of those on my card because I think they are fantastic little accent image to any card design. Once these are colored, I'm going to use the coordinating Joyful Heart Bears Die-Namics dies, die cut these, and then we're going to start popping them in place to finish off our scene card. These little guys are going to be standing in the clouds kind of on top of the sentiment. Very similar to the last card design, we just don't have a die cut greeting. Here we've got a couple of stamped greetings. I am popping these up with foam adhesive. I think that helps differentiate the images from the background and gives some nice depth and dimension. Not only are the bears going to be adhered with foam adhesive, my butterflies are going to be adhered with foam adhesive as well. And I want to figure out where those guys are going to go. And the final thing, as always, are finishing touches that finish off a card design. So just like the last card, we're going to take a black glaze pen. We're going to add detail to the butterflies. You can add detail to the noses. I'm going to take the Nuvo crystal drops in White Blizzard. We're going to add detail to butterfly wings. So they have that glittery, iridescent, pretty finish when they are all dry. We are going to take the same White Blizzard Nuvo crystal drops and add detail to the hearts in the bucket and the big heart that the bear on the right is holding, so that those are glittery as well. And then I will add some of those honeybee stamps strawberry ice hearts scattered throughout the card to finish it off. One kind of centered underneath our greeting and then the rest scattered throughout. I have gone through, this is my second full bottle of the Nuvo Crystal Drops in White Blizzard, I believe, and I really need a third. This one keeps clogging a little bit, which I have not had that trouble with this color before, and it is getting kind of low because I'm having to shake it a lot trying to get that product to the tip of the applicator. I'm just using a straight pen to unclog that. This does dry really fast. I put a very thin layer of the Nuvo Crystal Drops on purpose because I want it to dry quickly. I'll use the Crystal Katana again and pop all of those little strawberry ice hearts throughout my card design. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for these 2 cards featuring the My Favorite Things Joyful Heart Bears stamps and coordinating Die-Namics, as well as the new January 2019 Heart Art Card Kit. The supplies I used to create my cards are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring my favorite things, stamps, dies, and other products that you might be interested in. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll catch you next time.